Russia launched several drones at Ukraine's Odessa and Dnipropetrovsk regions overnight, injuring several and resulting in widespread damage. In Odessa, the strikes triggered large-scale fires, severely damaging a disused dormitory, a private home, and the city's electronics market. Several kiosks selling electronics and household appliances were destroyed. Firefighters, along with volunteers, managed to contain and extinguish the fires. No casualties or injuries were reported. Meanwhile, in Dnipropetrovsk, 3 people were injured, including a 4-month-old baby, local media reported.
The EU and Western leaders have expressed outrage over recently released videos showing 2 Israeli hostages in Gaza appearing emaciated and distressed. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy condemned the footage as sickening, saying the images of hostages were being paraded for propaganda. French President Emmanuel Macron called the videos a reflection of Hamas's abject cruelty. Macron stressed France continues to fight for their release, a ceasefire, and increased humanitarian access, while German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said he was appalled, reiterating that the release of all hostages must precede any ceasefire agreement. The wide condemnation comes after the Palestinian militant group Hamas released footage and images of 2 Israeli hostages amid growing pressure on both Hamas and Israel to allow urgent humanitarian access. Rom Bryslavsky and Eviatar David, who appeared pale and emaciated, were abducted on October 7, 2023, during the deadly attack by Hamas on southern Israel, sparking the current war in Gaza. At least 1,200 people were killed and 251 hostages were taken, many of whom have been released. Bryslavsky and David are among the 20 hostages still thought to be alive in Gaza.
Mainland Portugal entered a state of emergency on Sunday due to the worsening risk of wildfires as a result of severe hot weather. Maximum temperatures there are expected to range from 36 to 44 degrees Celsius. Forest fires continue to rage and threaten to worsen due to the weather. Spain will also experience high temperatures as a mass of hot air from North Africa hovers over the Iberian Peninsula. It's currently enduring the summer's second heat wave, expected to last until the end of the week. The heat wave in both countries is expected to reach its peak intensity on Monday and Tuesday, with red health alerts being issued across the region. Typically cold Nordic countries are also being seared by truly unprecedented heat, according to local authorities. Scientists say the region went through its longest heat wave since the 1960s, with temperatures regularly soaring past 30 degrees Celsius. The area has also been hit by storms and lightning strikes that have sparked wildfires. Warnings were issued in eastern Poland for storms, rain and heat over the weekend. Strong winds of up to 80 kilometers an hour and hail are expected. Authorities are also warning of heat wave conditions, with temperatures in the affected regions expected to hover around 30 degrees Celsius. However, the long period of unstable weather that has characterized this year's Italian summer is finally coming to an end. After baking in heat waves across the country, rainstorms are now affecting several regions, particularly those along the Adriatic coast.
The Lithuanian government formally resigned on Monday. It follows Prime Minister Gintautas Palukas' decision to step down last week amid a series of corruption allegations. Finance Minister Rimantas Sadžius was appointed as acting Prime Minister by Lithuania's President Gitanas Nausėda. Palukas denied any wrongdoing, saying the allegations come as part of an attack from his political opponents. The ruling Social Democrats will stay in power and are expected to choose a successor on Wednesday.
India and the Philippines staged their first ever joint sail and naval exercises in the contested South China Sea from Sunday to Monday. The high-profile military deployment is likely to provoke China, which has laid claim to the majority of the waters. When asked, Filipino Armed Forces Chief of Staff Romeo Brawner said the exercises had so far been successful and drawn no immediate response from Beijing. China claims the majority of the South China Sea, which borders the Southeast Asian mainland, as its own territorial waters, despite conflicting claims over parts of the waterways by Malaysia, Brunei and Taiwan.
South Korea's military said it started taking down propaganda speakers along its border with North Korea. The move is part of an effort by South Korea's new liberal government to reduce tensions with Pyongyang.
우리 군은 오늘부터 대북 확성기 철거를 시작하였습니다. 이는 군의 대비 태세에 영향이 없는 범위 내에서 남북 간 긴장 완화에 도움이 되는 실질적인 조치를 시행하는 것입니다.
The speakers, which would blare anti-North Korean propaganda and K-pop songs, had been turned on by the conservative government in June of last year. It had done so in retaliation for North Korea flying trash-filled balloons across the border. North Korea has not yet commented on South Korea's decision to remove the speakers.
Boeing workers at the company's fighter jet production plant in Missouri and Illinois went on strike on Monday after around 3,200 workers rejected a 4-year labor agreement. The strike threatened to delay the timeline for the 6th-generation F-47 fighter jet, a project backed by U.S. President Donald Trump.
The latest is our members today spoke loud and clear, and they're not happy with Boeing's last, best, and final offer. And so that's led to what we're doing tonight.
The workers last week rejected an earlier proposal put forward by Boeing, which included a 20% wage increase over 4 years. The aerospace giant said it was disappointed union members rejected its latest proposal. Boeing has been in hot water in recent years after 3 high-profile passenger jet crashes killed hundreds of people in Indonesia, Ethiopia, and most recently in India. Trump has tried to resuscitate the former industry leader by weaving in the purchase of Boeing commercial liners into a recent tariff deal with the European Union.
Вас підвезти? Так, взагалі всі казали, що я вже ніколи в житті не поїду. Як ти можеш їхати, тебе нема рук, тебе немає. Як то таке можливо? Не буду. Сказав, що буду.
Складність реабілітації залежить від пацієнта в першу чергу. Та якщо ми візьмемо, за приклад, Миколу, який є дуже мотивований чоловік, і він хоче досягнути багато чого, він цього просто бере і досягає, бо він цього хоче.
Микола звернувся, сказав, чи міг би ти мені допомогти. Микола так само з інженерним складом розуму каже, я би то сам зробив, але не можу. Ми двоє сіли, подумали, як то краще зробити, і разом зробили. Це коксові приймачі для Миколи, куди він запихає свою культю. Це таке адаптивне, там де він гальмує і газує. Ну і ось тут це такі клямки, якими він відкриває двері і так само закриває.
The Windcraft Music Fest was held for the 11th time in Katidata, the beautiful village on Mount Troodos in Cyprus. The event marries tradition with jazz and contemporary sound, bringing together musicians and bands not only from Cyprus but also from the rest of Europe. 30-year-old Robinson Curry is one of the most interesting young voices of French jazz. Last year, it was awarded the prestigious Django Reinhardt Prize as the best jazz musician in France.
We wanted something really special with instruments that we never saw before together. So I wanted a trio because the chemistry of the trio is really something unique. It's a kind of questioning about ancestral origins, but also with electronic that represents the sonorities that we don't know, maybe that are forgotten.
Oranica is a group of 5 young Bulgarian musicians who share a love for both Bulgarian tradition and contemporary music genre with a focus on bass.
We interpret Bulgarian folklore mixed with some other modern styles such as drum and bass, dubstep, even jazz. Honestly, this is styles of music that we enjoy and listen, and so we like to mix it with Bulgarian folklore.
We have the didgeridoo, which is ancient woodwind instrument that has the bass, and we also add more bass from synthesizers and mix it with acoustic instruments and traditional singing.
The members of the band met 16 years ago in a park. For many music lovers, Windcraft Music Fest is more than just a concert series. It's a living testament to the richness that comes from collaborations between people who have never worked together before, and it reveals the talents of both local and international artists, with a special emphasis on wind instruments.